Week one in the books. It was good for some, bad for others. And fuck, the 2021 fantasy baseball season is on the way. So let's get the bad news, at least for me personally, out of the way here at the beginning. I had the pleasure of playing the Margaritaville Vajazzlers. I think that is the official name of Max's team. You whooped my ass. You whooped my ass, Max. I'm not afraid to admit that. Not only did you win the Silver Slugger for the week, scoring an astounding 929 points, I would have won the Silver Shitter for least amount of points scored for the week. Had it not been for one person starting one pitcher. We'll get to that in a second. But my team put up an astounding 226 average with 12 home runs hit. I also allowed 12 home runs for a 1 triple R. And now, while I was preparing for this Commish dish, I actually forgot how I did it. Unfortunately, the notebook that had all of these stats is buried somewhere in my house that is still a construction zone. So I am still living with my parents, with my fiance, with my dog. Not the best situation. Could be worse. But I had to go back and kind of watch a couple Commish dishes to remember the setup for this. But the triple R, I don't remember what that stood for. So, if anyone does remember that, let me know. I figured out how to make it up. It's basically home runs hit divided by home runs allowed gives you a triple R. The higher your triple R score, essentially the better your team has done for the week. And that holds completely true for at least this matchup. It actually holds true for 3 of the 4 matchups for last week. So I had a 1 triple R. Not the best. Max, your team hit for a 302 average. 15 home runs hit compared to 3 home runs allowed by your pitchers for an astounding 5 triple R. And so I've kind of remembered that if triple R is going to be the deciding factor in most matchups, whoever has the higher triple R tends to win that week. So, my best player, you can shine a turd, right? Walker Buehler gave me 2, good outings. Went for 12 innings, only allowed 1 home run for 68.5 points total. So an average of 34? That's good. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Max, your crowning achievement, your star player for the week, I'm not going to call it. He is by far the highest scoring player for the week. Overall, between all teams, this guy outscored everyone. JD Martinez for the Boston Red Sox hit for a 472 average, had 5 home runs for 132 points. Holy shit. He had a 10th of your points. That is very good. Max, I couldn't really find anyone to talk shit on your team. You couldn't score 71 more points to break 1,000. I don't know what else to say. Your team, you got the Silver Slugger. What do I say? What do I say about that? There's nothing I could say. On my side, besides my offense with a dismal 226, the lowest for the week out of all teams. Scherzer didn't do me any favors. I was on the fence about starting him against Atlanta. But I definitely did not expect him to give up 4 home runs on only 5 hits allowed over 6 innings for a grand total of 0.5 points. So, I mean, net positive, but that hurt. You're wasting a start for half a point. No bueno. The next matchup we're going to talk about is the biggest Little City Maulers, managed by Brian Maul. Played it's Team Extra Sloppy. So I don't know if you meant to leave the team in there, Taylor, but Team Extra Sloppy came out victorious over the biggest Little City Maulers. And unfortunately, Brian, I'm pretty strict on only use the amount of starts you're allotted for the week. And you started 9 pitchers. You're only allowed 8. And so what I had to do is go in and remove your highest start and then subtract those points from your total, which gave you a grand total of 566. I had to subtract 49.5 points. You had some pitcher named Clavale. I don't even know if that's how you say it. I've never heard of this guy. But he was good. 49.5 point start. I'd take that. So that unfortunately earned you the silver shitter, Brian. And I believe we had agreed before the season started that the silver shitter would earn you an ice. And we can either do honor rules. You can chug it on video and text it to us all in the group chat. You could chug it on video and text it to me, and I can throw it in next week's Commish dish. And you can throw a little word of wisdom or what you've learned from your experience in there as well. But Brian, your team edged me out average-wise by, what is that, 1,000th of a point? I had a 226 average. Brian, you had a 227 average. So I'll bite the bullet. I had the worst average of the week. That's fine. But Brian, on the other hand, you had 16 home runs. Only allowed 7 for a 2.28 triple R. If anyone can remind me what triple R stands for, I would appreciate it. Like, I don't know, runs. I can't remember what that stands for. 3 R's, triple R, I don't know. I don't know what that is. It wasn't enough, though, to beat Taylor's team with a 278 average. 15 home runs, 5 home runs allowed for a 3 triple R. See that triple R coming in clutch. Brian, you wouldn't have won had I not subtracted the points. I'm sorry. Taylor scored an astounding 817.5 points. Just barely third place overall. Yeah, not good. I mean, if we had to talk about someone, you do have Lucas Giolito. He pitched for 10 2/3 innings for you, gave you 18 strikeouts, only allowed 1 home run for a grand total of 79.5 points. I mean, for 2 outings, that's awesome. Almost averaging 40 a start. I'll take that. But, I mean, Taylor does have Jacob deGrom. Arguably going to be one of the best pitchers, I think, in this league. 14 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts. 1 home run allowed for, I think, I didn't write it down, but it was well over 100 points. I mean, you're talking an average of at least 50 a start for a pitcher. That is astounding. I love that. Fuck. Take that to the bank. Brian, again, we talked about it already. If I had to talk shit on your team, too many starts. Sorry, bud. You live and you learn. I mean, Taylor, again, not much I can say about your team. 817.5 points is pretty good. But Michael Conforto is off to a rough start for you. Going 3 for 17 for a 176 average. No home runs. I think he had a double. Is his crowning achievement for that matchup. Not the best, but I mean, you can't say much, Taylor. You won. Congratulations. That is going to take us to Mike Oxenballs. I know what you're trying to do there, Grayson. Well done. You were playing the Hebrew Hammer. And at the helm of that team is Juan Josiah Dixon. Unfortunately, Grayson, you couldn't pull it out. You only scored 710 points. Joby beat you by quite a bit. I mean, it wasn't close. Grayson, your team did well. For like your first matchup, you did a pretty good job. 257 average, 14 home runs hit, 8 home runs allowed, 1.75 triple R. I mean, compared to Joby's stats, it's pretty damn close. A 259 average, Joby. 20 home runs, though. That is the highest total for the week. 8 home runs allowed, so not the best triple R score, but enough to get you the win, Joby, for a 2.5 triple R. Grayson, your best player was Ketel Marte for the Diamondbacks. I'm sure your team is missing him as he has found a spot on the IL. I don't know what's going on. I didn't research it, but I just know he's hurt. He hit for a 462 average with 2 home runs for a grand total of 77 points. Pretty damn good. Joby, your best player. Jose Berrios, 11 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts, only allowed 5 hits, and 1 home run for 90.5 points. Not, again, I mean, you're averaging 45 points a start. I'll take that. Grayson, you have Lourdes Gurriel. Off to a hot start. He's going 2 for 13 to start the season for a 153 average, netting you -2 points. Joby, you thought that was bad. Stanton for the Yankees, 1 for 16 for a .062 average, -7.5 points. No home runs hit. I don't even think he has an extra base hit. He has a single. That's it. -7.5 points from Stanton to start the season. That is a dismal start. That'll lead us to our final matchup of last week. We've got Team Ligma Balls, helmed by Jamie Olander, against Jack Helmrich, who is the skipper for the Ham Hawkers. James, you edged it out. This was our closest matchup of the week. Only 55 points separated these two. And this is one that's kind of an outlier because, Jamie, you hit for a 254 average with 11 home runs, 7 home runs allowed for a 1.57 triple R. And Jack, a 286 average, 14 home runs, 6 home runs allowed for a 2.33 triple R. So this is one of those few matchups I think we're going to see where that triple R score was actually lower for the winning team. But Jamie, your pitching was astounding. Tyler Glasnow gave you 12 innings of work, 5 hits allowed, 0 home runs allowed, while striking out 15 for a solid 101.5 points. Jack, you've got Byron Buxton, your best player. He hit for an even 500 average. Not a whole lot of home runs, 3 home runs, but 4 doubles in there for 85 points from an offensive player. I'll take 85 points for a week. That is good. But Jamie, if you want to talk about slow starts, dismal starts, let's talk about Keston Hiura. Starting out the season 0 for 19. The only way he earned you points was getting hit by a pitch. And then he kind of negated some of those points by committing an error for a solid -17 points from an offensive player. That is going to be hard to beat, I think, for the rest of the season. -17 points from an offensive player. Ouch. Sorry. If he's still on your team, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. With that sort of average, I guess no average. You might want to sit him for a bit. Let him warm up. That's not great. And Jack, I'm not going to talk about your worst player, but I'm going to talk about maybe your worst decision for the week. Joe Musgrove. He gave you 53.5 points for his first start. I would have seen that as a good sign to maybe think about using him for his second start. That second start being a no-hitter. 9 innings pitched. 0 hits allowed. 0 bases on balls. He hit one batsman that cost him his perfect game bid while striking out 10 for a grand total of 94 points on the bench for one start. One start, 94 points. Shit. I mean, had you started him, I think you would have won. For sure. That would have been a winner. Could have changed the whole matchup. Amanda's home. That's nice. That's all I have to say for this week. I guess we could talk about current matchups. I think I'm playing Taylor. I started out yesterday. I think I was at -4 for the day. So, solid Monday for me. Taylor, I don't know if you want to throw up a bet. We haven't really talked. I'll just say this. If I lose to you, I'll drink an ice. And if I get the silver shitter, I'll drink 2 ices. Taylor, I'm expecting you to do the same. You can do it. Who else is playing who? We've got, Max versus Brian. Brian, you're starting out pretty good. Ligma Balls versus Mike Oxenball. So it's the matchup of the balls there. Jamie versus Grayson. And then the Hebrew Hammer versus the Ham Hawkers. So, I know ham is not kosher. So, give it to him, Jack. That's all I got for you. I don't know what I say. What do I normally say at the end of this? I'm so out of practice. Like and subscribe. I've got a whopping, I think, 4 subscribers now. Maybe 5. We'll get up there soon. We'll get ads. We'll get paid comments and shit. Sponsors. I'm expecting a call from MLB Network at any time to get me on as a broadcaster. Yeah. This one brought to you by Montucky Cold Snack. Official sponsor. Not really. I wish. But, yeah, keep it up, guys. So far, I'm having fun. See ya!